Training like a tour pro for 30 days is drawing to an end, and I've learned so much in a short space of time, but I'm having some issues with my iron play and starting to wonder if I will slip into old habits when the pressure is on. I've called Lewis for an emergency lesson and take a look at what I have started to do wrongly at this late stage. Can he help fix the issue and, more importantly, reassure me that I can go through with this swing change? And once again, thank you to Putt for sponsoring this series. Right, welcome back to another episode. Training like a tour pro for 30 days and I'm running out of time, Lou. I've got a little bit of an issue, a bit of a dilemma in the kind of like what we've been working on. Early promise, really good with the driver and the long stuff, and that's the sequence, by the way. I'm just not getting it quite, seem a bit rushed with the short
like
drive.
Giving yourself a really short time frame and then hit the panic button with a week to go.
I know, but if you can have another look, cast an eye, and I'm sure there's something very minor that I'm doing not quite like I was.
Yeah,
all right, bud.
And how does your backswing feel?
Yeah, all right, mate. I'm not really doing anything.
Oh, mate, that's a beauty. Just spot a light and sell it.
Yeah, it's got, I mean, obviously, it's got a little bit of like cut in it still, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's the one you don't like though, isn't it?
It's where it just feels like the face is open.
Just take it to the top and stop, yeah. All the way to the top, yeah. Right, and then come down nice and slow and show me. Perfect.
That's how I feel like I'm going.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now start the lower half, yeah. And then come down slow and stop at the ball. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the difference?
Well,
what did you feel?
There's a bit of a it's further behind me.
That's it. That's it.
But the only see when I come in like that.
Yeah.
That clubhouse
is behind you.
Club face seems, like I said, it's that business about wide open. Seems open. Seems in the trees. Unless I obviously.
Yeah. And that's the thing for you is if you grab it when the club's when your sequencing was out and the club was a bit more out in front of you. Yeah. You had to wait. Yeah. And it was there.
Yeah.
So path's moving left, face is open to the path.
So I did the
cutty, yeah. So you're used to going, well, you're not used to the analogy, I would like closing the door.
No.
Yeah, when the club is here, you don't want it square to the target.
Yeah.
Because then everything kind of has to reroute, sort of horribly.
So it's that closing to the target is the kind of the bit I'm uncomfortable with.
It's interesting that you didn't have that same sensation when we were doing the longer stuff.
No.
When obviously the length of shaft, the plane's going to be a little bit shallower. Club's naturally going to be more behind you, and you're more inclined to get this way. And we were just working on a minor thing.
Yeah.
But as the
club's shorter,
and we're just hitting 8 iron here. As the club's shorter, it feels like it could be more of a problem. So what we were probably going to do is probably head round there and hit some wedges in.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as precise here, or you don't feel as accurate here as you do maybe at the longer end of the bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But I just want to try that. See, that's me then trying to.
Yeah. Because the thing for you is it's that we don't need a ball for this.
No.
What's stopping the ball cutting?
Yeah.
Is the face being open to the path?
Yeah.
What's gonna stop that is sorting the sequencing out.
Yeah.
Which puts the club more behind you, which then means you can. So what you're doing there is you're going, well, I'm just going to release the club differently, and that's going to stop my face being open to the path. But when you do that and you're stuck behind it, right, so if you grab it there. So if you go to the top and stop, right, and I sort of make sure that you stay in your back leg and you come down.
I'm like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's just about. What's really interesting is when we're not touching on sort of. We're trying to change it sort of through the body motion and sorting out this sequencing, and you're wanting to make the swing change to match the new sequencing without it. It's like a positive byproduct of having better sequence.
Okay. Yeah. Prime Putt make the very best putting mats that are the closest to reality in a surface that resembles tour grade turf. This is as realistic as it gets, and with speeds that measure between 9 and 11 on the stimp, you can be assured that your putting practice can make a huge difference when stepping out onto the golf course and into reality. This is practice that really will help lower your scores. Thank you to Prime Putt for their support on this journey. Please find out more on the link in the description.
So what I'd say here, when you're making your practice swings now, right, go up to the top, right, and try and get your left hip into me, and then come down. Yeah.
That more.
Yeah, that's it. So you don't have to manipulate the club with this. You know, that little move we did with the longer stuff.
Yeah.
It's not, that's better. There you go.
It's a better weight shift, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called, but that's...
Just better sequencing.
Yeah, better sequencing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Good.
move up there.
So it's 50 yards, right? And I just want you to do the same as what we've done. Because the part where you're struggling, where you're loading fine, and then it's that shift to the left side, turning and sort of, with the first part of the sequencing, if you like. Obviously, when everything is moving slower, it's harder to get this differentiation between you're trying to create separation, but what's worked for you is pulling, getting to the left quickly and early, and then everything sort of slotted in really well. Whereas when there's no forceful sort of left shift, that still needs to happen. So I need to make sure, and then obviously when it's moving at such slow rate, if your sequencing is out, it's going to have a disastrous effect. Is it can really, if you don't get it right here, strike will disappear, and then your distance control will just go, and then your line, and you know. So just sort of recognise that this part you could feel really lost here. So I just want you to hit a few, right, where you do nothing but that practice swing, from left side, and then just really far. I don't really care where the ball goes. I just want to make sure contact's right first, and then we can dial it in and be a bit more accurate. And then moving with the ball in the correct spot. Will that camera pick that one up? Oh, it's lovely, that, wasn't it?
Nice crisp, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. That was the word I was going to use, crisp. Which
it'll pick the ball flight.
How did it feel through release?
But again, what's interesting is it's a totally. If I had a 50, whatever I've got, 58 wedge.
Because you really do pick them clean.
I wouldn't be doing this at all. It feels, it's very different.
Cool. That's it. And then different to driver, just because we spoke about it with the longer stuff. You're consciously doing it, the club's travelling this way, isn't it? It's not that with drive where you're sort of stuck back here and we had it's different, isn't it?
Oh, it's totally different.
Love it. Not quite as good, that.
No,
not quite as good, that one.
No.
So again, that one went a bit longer as well. So just shorten it up. Club doesn't need to travel that far.
No. Okay.
So just nice and short. There you go. Look at that.
Nice, isn't it?
Putting it proper contact. You're going to really struggle. We are just going to hit one more. And I do want you to focus a little bit more on the distance. On the distance you're hitting it. That one's brilliant strike, but there's no point striking it well and just watching it go over the back. So again, it's got to go shorter, a little bit softer, but with the same. So it's going to be harder to get that sequencing right. There you go. Love it.
Cool, isn't it?
Happy?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Game changers today.
Yeah. And you know, I love that your bad one was that exact one.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
It was left.
It was left.
Longer. Yeah. What I'd want you to do as a drill, right, is we're still doing sequencing.
Yeah.
But when you feel as though it's done correctly, it can still be done too far back.
Okay.
So that's something I worry about when you're away from me.
Yeah.
And it's less of a, right, Louis here, it's consciously, right, I'm going to do this. It can feel like you're doing it right, but you're almost doing it with that. So you're going to notice it less with the longer stuff.
Yeah.
When you're, and you're in this position, But here, you can make your backswing and you feel as though it's firing, but this left hip's just going to go back.
Yeah.
And you can see there that all the weight's still here.
Got you.
Right. So what I want you to do is just set up to that ball there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just going to move the ball sort of up here.
Okay.
To the inside of your left foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you set up to that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
As in stay in the same position.
Stay in the same position. Yeah. And go up to the top of your backswing and stop. Okay. And now come down and make that slow. Feel the difference.
Yeah.
So you there, without me asking you to do anything, you got more to the outside of your left foot, right? And you really pronounced that sort of shaft lean, hands ahead there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So try that again. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I then move the ball back, you stay where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And just again go to the top, stop, and come down. You feel how.
Yeah.
Just by moving it back to where it was at the beginning, how much easier the impact location that we're trying to get to can be created. Love it.
You prefer that?
Yeah, I much prefer that. With this end of the bag, I think that's is you almost want it. You can almost have a practice swing.
Yeah.
Because you can set up with that ball on the inside of your left foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Set up like that again.
With the inside of my left foot.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And have a practice swing where you go up to the top, okay, and then come down. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And then put your feet together. Yeah. And then just set up normally.
Yeah.
Okay. And now have your practice swing and move into the ball. That's it. And then move into that one. Amazing.
Solid that one.
Amazing. And look how neutral that flight is.
I hadn't lined up to the flag there.
Yeah. So I think initially down here, strike's different. You've been saying
totally different.
Yeah, you've been catching them a little clean.
Yeah.
Pulling them a little left. And it's because obviously the time frame we're working on and what we're working on, it's not different, but it's just trying to take what the feedback that you've come with.
Yeah.
Taking that straight to there.
So for me, I'm going to get another ball because I enjoy this and that. But for me, and anybody who's watching at home, because I think kind of this might be a bit relevant to others as well.
Yeah.
Well, what I did was I concentrated on that position where the first ball was. So you know when you're moving ball to the front foot, I almost tried to hit down on that ball. When the ball's moved back from a visual perspective, I was still visualising the ball forward.
Yeah, a lot of coaches, we all work a little bit differently. We'll get people with this, getting someone like you to do this type of move. Yeah. We'll put a tee, a couple of inches in front and stuff like that.
Well, that made a massive difference.
I like everyone hitting it from where they hit it from. Yeah. And creating the feel in a different way, and then going right. Well, now it's where the ball is in the correct position. How does that feel? And the thing for me, it was the strike.
Yeah, it was totally different. It was unreal that. And like I said, all week I've been practicing. I played yesterday, and as I said to you earlier on off camera, it's just been a little bit thin, which again suggests that sort of what I've been doing so far.
Yeah, potentially getting it thin and the ball starting on target and maybe moving a little left.
So that makes sense. So
good. Even more, and don't be afraid to. That's the one. That's better. Look at that. Love it. Straight away you see it. And that must have been the most frustrating thing for you from when we did it the first time to now is it's the feeling like you are doing it right.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's like that thing about I don't know, feel versus real.
Yeah,
or something, whatever that saying is.
this is the juncture where people feel like they've got to do something.
Yeah.
As well as
Yeah.
I've sorted my sequences. It's not quite right. No, you've just got to double down on it and really focus in on that part of the.
That is absolutely in 2 wedges. Because again, I said to you in a pro shop before we came out. Everything I've done with yourself, with Tom, no one's trying to mess around me swing too. The fundamentals of what's going on.
Yeah.
But everything I know has had a really positive impact. Genuinely mean that. Everything I've done.
Yeah.
So I would take this forward, whatever happens in the 30 days, because I know that's a bit of a farce in many ways. We've got such a small window.
Yeah.
I would 100% carry on this, because that's kind of.
Yeah. What you said in the pro shop was really interesting, where you feel as though you actually think you are now better.
Yeah.
And I think it means you've actually learned something about your golf.
Yeah.
And what you do well.
Yeah.
And maybe what you trying to do better, and you've been practicing with a purpose, which is like
that's a massive
how many people just aimlessly practice? You're going
huge.
with something specific to work on, and then you're coming back with feedback, to then what is the next step? And it's not always different, is it? Like we've seen.
It's been a massive learning curve, and my encouragement to anybody would be to seek out that kind of advice from the pro, and if you can, afford to work with them consistently. That's been the thing, hasn't it? Really, being able to come back.
Yeah.
It's not there's not really a one-off lesson, is there, that's going to sort of sort you out. It's got to be that kind of.
No. But then the one-off lessons for people, their willingness to sort of really commit to that.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, commit to that and take that change for the long haul.
Yeah.
Don't just
go.
Yeah,
but the problem is, if you do the one lesson and you disappear, you end up doing what I've done. You think you're doing it.
Yeah.
And then you ask someone to watch back, and the likelihood is you're not doing anything like, and that's the.
Yeah,
so
little and often.
Yeah.
I would say little and often.
Yeah,
I say this to everyone who's been to it. Just say, come back when you feel as though you've got some feedback on what we've done.
Yeah.
It might be the same lesson again. It might be something different. It all depends on how you've interpreted it. And that's one thing that's been impressive with you is you almost you won't. You've got to understand it.
Yeah.
So you know, and we've really we've doubled and tripled down on the same thing, and you really understand it.
Well, that again was just a great move that really helped resonate in my brain. So that's it. You've hopefully seen a few more shots of me sort of taking this out onto the golf course and seeing what sort of impact it's had, because this is something I'm going to do after our little lesson now. And hopefully it's still going well. Well, I am running out of time. It's a week to go now, and there'll be still plenty of more practice hours to come. Thanks to Lewis, because really that's our sort of final on-course lesson. The next bit is going to be kind of an assessment of it all. Maybe catch your eye over 5 holes or something and see how I fare. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you all again in 2 days' time.